Okay, so we're going to start with our cardiac blood vessels. And so this right here is our right coronary artery. It's labeled with the number 30. As we go down that, we have labeled number 31 is our marginal branch. And then number 32 right here is our posterior interventricular branch. When we bring it back around, we have number 33, which is our left coronary artery, which branches into 34, which is the anterior interventricular artery, and number 35 right here, which is the circumflex branch. And then we're going to move to the veins. So we have number 20, which is kind of faint, but it's this one. And that's our anterior cardiac vein. And then as we roll this around, this one right here is number 36, and it is your great cardiac vein, which when you roll this around, you have 37, which is your coronary sinus, 38, which is the middle cardiac vein, and then 39 is your small cardiac vein. When we look at the main vessels of the heart, this is your aorta, but this is your ascending aorta, and this is your aortic arch. And then your aortic arch has 3 branches to it. So this branch, which is the first one, is your brachiocephalic, and that also branches into 2. And it is your right common carotid and your left subclavian. The second branch would be your left common carotid, and then the third is your left subclavian. This would be your descending aorta. And then when you look at the pulmonary trunk is here, which then branches off into your pulmonary arteries. And then there's one more, and then this is your something.
Superior vena cava.
Superior vena cava.
Woohoo!
The end.
Your external jugular veins are going to run to the exterior of your head and face, and the same as goes with your external common carotids. They'll run to your head and face. Your internal common carotid and internal jugular veins will run up inside of your head and supply the blood to the brain. Okay, so back to your brachiocephalics. After the first rib, it goes to your subclavian artery and vein, which comes down to your teres major, where it splits into your brachial artery and vein. Your brachial here goes deep. The brachial vein goes deep. You kind of lose it here, and this is your brachial artery. Here is your basilic vein that runs the entire length of your arm superficially, as well as the cephalic over here, which runs the entire length of the arm superficially. Here we have our median cubital vein, which connects the basilic and the cephalic veins. And after our brachial artery and vein come off the subclavian, they run down to about the elbow where they split, and you can see here we have the radian artery and the ulnar artery. You cannot see the veins because they just aren't able to be seen on this model, but they run congruent with these. I think that's it. Alrighty, here we're going to go over the veins and arteries of your upper limbs and your head and neck. So here we have your brachiocephalic trunks, both venous and arterial, right here and right here. Also on this side. Here we have our internal jugular veins and our internal common carotids. Our external jugular and common carotids cannot be seen on this model because they are a little too superficial. Here we have our vertebral arteries, and our vertebral veins run congruent with those. They are just not on this model as well. Up here, pause it.
Okay, so we're just going to talk about the arteries and veins in the abdominal section of the body and the lower limbs. So we're going to start here at the top. Right here, it's labeled as 59, and that is your hepatic portal vein right here. As we go ahead and move down, we have this labeled as 63. That is your inferior vena cava, also a vein. As we go ahead and we move on over, we can see up here it's labeled as, it looks like 619. That is your celiac trunk. We can go ahead and move down from that, and right here, which is labeled as 65, is your superior mesentery. And those are 2 arteries, of course, as they're labeled in red. We can go ahead and move down. We have 68, which is...
This is your ovarian and testicular artery and vein, and this is your azygous vein.